So, looks like you're having fun dancing around on this particular catchy tune in this entire video game industry, but I'm guessing it's more power to you, because either way though, I'm pretty sure that you might able to actually get a little bit of a nice dance around all over the forms of the entirety of the Delfino Plaza itself. So, hey, what's up everyone, I'm Sonic the Hedgehog here, and I'm back for some more of yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos as usual. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Super Mario Sunshine for the Nintendo GameCube. So, last time we have managed to able to get things started with Nuki Bay, to able to actually tackle through the first few missions to his disposal. Well, despite the fact we only got about ourselves 7 of those Shine Sprites on that particular world, probably because of how the fact that with that particular Shine Sprite that we've already gathered throughout. So today, for this particular episode, and that was the fact that for the sake of this video, we're about to be hopefully trying to finishing up with the forms of Nuki Bay for able to not only just trying to able to conclude the majority of the missions, but also the fact that we would be able to actually just to realize that, well, not just for the sake of the forms of trying to complete every single mission on this world, but also trying to able to get ourselves probably the easiest 100 coin Shine Sprites in the game, as well as the most annoying blue coins in the whole entire world, at least as far as the annoying blue coins in the whole entire game, but that's besides the point. So either way, first off, we need to hit back onto episode 6, as you can clearly see, and I do apologize with the forms of my typing sounds on my keyboard, probably because of how the fact that there's not much else I can really just try to talk about. Besides that, according to this uploading duty forms of today's days, the forms of the 23rd of March in 2020. So in this case that today, that Pokepark 2 Wonders Beyond as well as Kid Icarus Uprising both came out in the UK for about 8 years now. So I can't even believe the time itself has managed to go really fast, and especially noticeable how quicker that can be. But either way though, I just can't even believe, despite I no longer have myself Kid Icarus Uprising anymore, despite with some very gorgeous visuals to look at, even on the Nintendo 3DS, as well as the high energy soundtrack. But I'm not a big fan of the controls, especially noticeable. While the gameplay itself is fine and all, however though, the actual controls in mind just gives me a hand cramp. So even then though, I just want to point that out, and that's why I deserve for able to comment on that specific controls in Kid Icarus Uprising. But apart from the fact that, wow, we obviously playing through Super Mario Sunshine after all. So either way, let's get back to this, and then hopefully we would be able to actually just accomplish the Red Coin Challenge properly without any sort of trial and error. So yeah, let's try this again, and hopefully we would able to success for this point. So even then though, hopefully we'll able to actually manage to do so. So either way, again, there's not much else I can talk about this, apart from the fact that, well, I know it's generally barely the never kind of syndrome about the fact that we would able to actually just start trying to discuss about the fact that recently that Pokemon Sword and Shield has recently fixed the actual bugs and glitches with the forms of trying to make the game crash if you're trying to hack into those trading Pokemon stuff, which thankfully has been fixed. But then again, I'm probably not going to pick it up, because either way though, despite the actual visual style looks very unappealing to me in comparison to the forms of let's just say Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee editions, that the actual visuals do look very cool looking, especially noticeable how the next generation of consoles will become. But then again though, I'm just a little bit too nitpicking at this point, probably because of how the fact that there's not much purchases that we can able to order as such. Alright, talking of which actually, is the fact that recently, I managed to order another copy of Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 on the original Xbox again, and hopefully it will able to work out on the original Xbox, so hopefully I can able to experience the third game once I've tried to complete the second game first, because as far as I'm aware, they're both on the Dreamcast, both the original game as well as the second game, so even then I just want to classify that right away. So but you know, you get the idea for that solution right there. So either way though, let's just go ahead and get ourselves our second secret Shine Sprite in Nuki Bay / Mayor Bay for the Japanese version of the game, according to the actual the thing itself, I suppose. But either way though, we would be able to actually just to realize about the fact that some parts usually becomes happening. Okay, speaking of which actually, is the fact that well, I'll explain more about it whenever we get onto the forms of the easiest 100 coin Shine Sprite. The next mission we have is episode 7, and it's always going to be a Shadow Mario mission, but this time it names it Hold It, Shadow Mario. And this time, Shadow Mario's now even becomes a lot more sweatier. So either way, this means we might able to do the same usual stuff as before, so there's not much anything else different about it, aside from able to actually take place in a different environment and stuff like that this time. So, either way though, there's not much else to really discuss, apart from the fact that we still need to able to actually just to keep on spraying at Shadow Mario for dozens or so times until you're able to actually realize that we need to start doing a lot of climbing involved. So this means like continuous wall jumping, and especially noticeable with Likely due to the fact that we need to keep on spraying at him when it comes to doing that specific technique like I just keep on doing for the sake of time. So, but then again, there's not much else I can say, sadly. Well, apart from the fact that originally we're about to be able to take on the forms of the next world after this. I will say for those of you probably thinking that it might be a spoiler warning for those of you who might able to not realize, I'm actually going to be taking a break for able to actually doing world-to-world kind of missions from now on, because I'm going to be mainly focusing on Delfino Plaza from now on, and until likely due to the forms of likely, well, in the forms of Wednesday at some point. Because of that though, I should probably need to get these out of the way, in case we're about to be hit onto the 7th world in the game. So hopefully, relatively speaking, that makes it pretty obvious for this point. By the way, if you try to do a first-person camera view when you're trying to simply grab the Shine Sprites, Mario will instantly look away from the actual Shine Sprite obtained celebration animation. So I thought to myself, I just want to show you guys that, so just in case if you're about to be missing out on certain parts throughout the game, even some certain secrets every once in a while, but either way, I just want to classify for something. So either way, that pretty much takes care from that particular mission, and now let's go ahead and take on the forms of the final mission in Nuki Bay, and that is episode 8, the Red Coin Fish. Oh, I'm really looking forward to able to actually get onto this mission, not just because that, just like in episode 4, we need to hit back into this specific segment here again, and accept the fact that we might be able to actually come across into probably the best music pieces in the whole entire game, just in my opinion, the best music in the whole entire game, and probably the most relaxing music in there too. Which probably will point it out whenever we get into it though, but either way though, first off, we need to go ahead and go after the majority of the blue coins, as we stated that before. So, either way though, there's not much else that can really just figure this out to discuss upon. So, anyways, let's go ahead and just do the continuous wall jumps here and there. And I think it's probably best for the safest for the bet, about the fact that with the 100 coin Shine Sprite mission, or the Shine Sprite rather, I think we should probably do that in episode 6, because episode 6 might be able to actually start things off a lot more interesting, to say the least, if you're trying to take on the forms of episode 6 when it comes to doing the 100 coin Shine Sprite and stuff like that, which we'll probably point it out whenever we get to it. So either way though, let's go ahead and grab the next blue coin that's been here. Oh jeez Louise, they just knocked me back! Although thankfully we are safe in the actual water, so even then though, because, well, you know, we don't have to worry about the actual, this disgusting purple water that has been surrounding it. So, at least we're glad that we're actually being a case for this point, so either way though, we'll just, leave it up to that. So anyways, let's go ahead and keep on swimming about, and hopefully we would be able to discover ourselves even more secrets and goodies, and especially noticeable with I'm also able to go after that blue coin that's usually down here, so if even then we would be able to actually just to collect that, and after we collect that, well, we can able to grab another 4 blue coins, but it's going to be involved around the actual underwater segment, specifically whenever we get onto the actual mission itself. So hopefully, relatively speaking, especially noticeable, it really helps about the fact that with that particular helmet that we've got, oh god, get away from me. But at least on the upside, we can able to get that extra life back again after the events of trial and error of the shell secrets and stuff like that. So either way, let's go ahead and swim up, and eventually, just like the forms of how it does in episode 4, it doesn't matter which ways you're going to be going into, either this particular pavement, or you can simply dive right into the waterfall, then we'll able to actually immediately meet the Red Coin Fish. Alongside with this gorgeous music you're going to be hearing. I know you desperately can't hear the actual music very well, just because, well, it's just the actual power of the editing of the forms of everything else, basically. So even then, easily without doubt the best piece of music in the whole entire game. Not just because it's all relaxation and everything, but oh man, the more I hear this music, oh my god, I just felt so emotional, and especially noticeable my tears starts to able to grow on me, because this is so amazing for that specific music that's been playing through. But regardless of everything else though, we need to go after those blue coins first, and luckily for me, they're able to actually appear on the actual pillars themselves. So, for instance, we've already got the first two already, now we need to grab the other two, which is going to be on the different parts of the actual column pillars. And hopefully we'll try to find the last one, which should be over here somewhere. Yeah, it's gonna be just around here, so either way though, let's go ahead and obtain it. And I think we should be all sorted from now on, until whenever we find the last few. I think we've got about 7 left, until we're able to conclude the blue coins, or in this case, the most annoying blue coins in the whole entire game, at least specifically in this world. And then hopefully, whenever we get into the, you know, as I said before, the 100 coin Shine Sprite, kind of collectible, it shouldn't be that much of an issue. So anyways, in this mission, as you can see, basically once again we need to collect all 8 of those red coins, except, well, as I said before, just like in episode 4, it does take place in this particular unique location of Nuki Bay. Whilst new forms of, well, as I said before, the Japanese version of this specific world, it normally calls it Mayor Bay, which either way though, that makes it pretty obvious for that specific solution. There's also another world that does have another translation between the Japanese release and the English release, which I'll probably discuss more about it whenever we get on to, you know, as I said before, the 100 coin Shine Sprite, as well as the final 7 of those blue coins in Nuki Bay. So hopefully we would be able to actually discuss on that stuff. So, as you can tell, unlike any forms of episode 4 that we need to face off against with that particular boss fight, in this particular mission it's just the fact that it's pretty simple. We need to gather all 8 of those red coins, and that's all you really have to do for the sake of this mission. And then when you're done with that, the Shine Sprite is now going to be located on the far deeper down towards at the very bottom, rather than just onto the side of that hole, like normally when you're trying to defeat the boss from the likes of episode 4, for example. But even then though, I think it's a pretty nice looking mission, especially, oh man, the music is so beautiful. Especially I keep on listening to that every time when I was having ourselves a nice sleeping moments. Well, not so much for sleeping though, because whenever I hear music in the background while I was trying to sleep, it does get pretty distracting every once in a while. But luckily though, for relaxation, music or not, this means that it just makes it everything else and stuff like that. Especially how it really helps for me is the fact that when it gets to like summer, for instance, sorry for a little bit of a tongue twisting in the end, folks, but the fact of the matter is though, is the fact that I can listen to any kind of relaxing music whenever I was doing my sunbathing and stuff like that, for any time, anywhere, with any part. Which either way though, that's always a nice little reputation and stuff. Well, not so much for reputation or something like that, but it's more accurate though. It's nice to able to listen throughout. So, but anyways, let's get into the forms of, as you can see on screen, we're now revisiting onto episode 6 for, you know, the Shell Secret, not just to tackle for that same exact mission again, but rather than just trying to able to go through, of course, the 100 coin Shine Sprite. And good thing for us though, as you can clearly see on screen, we can able to actually just to grab 50 of those coins until you get to the specific swimming part, which thankfully these coins are somewhat close to each other, especially noticeable that we've already did manage to able to collect some of these coins from down from that waterfall, as you can see right there. And look at that, we're actually almost at the 50 coin mark within almost like 2 minutes, which is very good, because either way, unlike in Delaggio Beach that I feel like is a tedious more than ever will be, and especially noticeable with Recco Harbor for basically the second waste of time 100 coin Shine Sprite, whilst in this though, however though, is much more convenient than the last time. Well, to be more specifically, much more convenient and it's easy to jump into, unlike in, you know, in Gelato Beach, for example, because you don't have to deal with the forced watermelons punishing and stuff like that, which is always good. And second of all is the fact that, well, we don't have to keep on doing the exact same methods just to destroy a lot of watermelons every time. So even then, though, at least I'm glad that was the case, because either way, that makes it a little bit more tedious if you're trying to go through, specifically, as I said that before, that if you're trying to destroy as the insane amount of watermelons if you're trying to go for that stuff. So anyways though, let's get into the actual discussion about the fact that what's the difference between the Japanese release of Super Mario Sunshine and the English version of the game. As far as I already know, is the fact that the Isle Delfino, which is usually called in the English version throughout, and the Japanese version of the game does call it Dolphic Island, which I think I already said that a couple of times already. And then Delfino Airstrip, which I stated that before is the English version of the actual specific beginning portion of the name of the specific beginning portion of the game. But in the Japanese release of the game, it just simply calls it the airport, so even then it's pretty simple. And as far as Delfino Plaza is concerned, it just calls it Dolphic Town, which to be expected because of how the fact that we're going to be able to be traversing through the actual town portion of a dolphin island. So even then, that makes it a little bit obvious for that specific transportation with all these name differences here and there. And I've already mentioned this before, that this level of Nuki Bay is actually also known as Mayor Bay in a Japanese release. And finally, at the moment right now, not until whenever we get on to the 7th world in the game, lastly we like to discuss upon is the fact that Gelato Beach, in Japan, it calls it Mama Beach, which either way though is kind of a little bit weird to able to actually pronounce that specific word, as in despite the fact that Mamma Mia was already existent thanks to the forms of when Mario says Mamma Mia every time when he loses a life in Super Mario 64 all of a sudden. So yeah, this seems a little bit obvious for that specific knowledge and stuff like that, but even then we'll discuss more about the forms of the last Japanese name differences whenever we get in towards the, as I said before, whenever we get to the 7th world. Then we should be able to discuss upon the fact that with the name differences does manage to able to contribute fact. So yeah, as I said before, that really another trap. Great. Yeah, sometimes I will admit though, it's that the only weakest point about this world for me though is these very annoying blue coin locations, because well, it's completely opposite than the likes of how it does it in Gelato Beach, where I found the 100 coin shine sprite already tedious enough in Gelato Beach. Well, the majority of the blue coins are fine, but now it's completely opposite because of specifically in this world, because I found the 100 coin shine sprite a lot easier to able to actually just to collect, and I found the blue coins to be the only negative thing about this. So, but thankfully, whenever we get into the forms of the 7th world at least, then we should be able to actually go in far between when it comes to likely doing all sorts of tasks at one hand. So, but yeah, that's my kind of theory. So either way though, there's another blue coin in here, like I just already collected, and there's also going to be another blue coin that is going to be in here. So at least we can expect we can able to find that if we don't accidentally fall out or fall off of the actual pavement, as far as I like to call it that. And I do apologize for that particular noise in the background, just because my dogs are actually barking all of a sudden, so I do apologize for that. So, but at least you can able to hear my voice correctly, as well as my game audio, as you can clearly hear throughout. So either way though, we can expect at that point. So anyway, so let's go ahead and carefully try to navigate for this little wall climbing and stuff without even like falling off. Actually, we've already double checked on that specific area, just because we've already just managed to do all that since ever since in the 4th mission. So even then, there's no point for able to actually explore in here. But for the meantime, let's go ahead and take care of the forms of 100 coin shine sprite, at least for now on, and then we can expect we can be able to actually just mainly focusing on the annoying blue coins though. So either way though, let's just double check what's beyond over here. Thankfully though, that we've already got ourselves 3 more of those 100 coin shine sprites of the game, because whenever we're done with those, then we can simply just hit back onto the forms of the fast-paced kind of like going from mission to mission kind of syndrome. So even then, that makes it a little bit simple and easy, and just to, well, you know. Alright, so far we got 88 coins, despite we actually wasted for about 5 minutes so far. Well, it's not too long, considering how the fact that we need to keep on exploring around in Nuki Bay or something like that. But then again though, it's just a matter of the forms of how much time you've got until whenever we get onto certain things or what have you. So, alright, so we can't go here, and plus there aren't any coins around in this particular bit, so I guess we need to figure out another way to, you know, just trying to find the last few regular yellow coins and keep on getting ourselves our full damage and stuff like that. So I guess that makes it a little bit obvious for that specific tribunes and stuff. Actually, we could able to trying to grab this blue coin over there by simply hanging onto it. And there we go. And to top it off, we're able to find the last few yellow regular coins. And boom! There we go. We did manage to accomplish the 100 coin shine sprites within, I would say, 6 or more minutes, which is very impressive, because either way, this is by far the easiest world to able to actually grind for 100 coins, which I'm gonna say, it is so much more better pacing than the consecutive schizophrenic Gelato Beach or Mama Beach in Japan. So either way though, that seems the case. So, and aside from any other differences between the English version of this game than the likes of the Japanese release, Bianco Hills is pretty much exactly the same name as in the English and the Japanese version of the game. Same applies to Reko Harbor and Pina Park, and finally Surona Beach. So I guess that might be the only name differences, that it doesn't seem to be unchanged or anything like that. So actually, before we get into that, however, though, let's go ahead and get ourselves the hover nozzle, or the turbo nozzle I should say, so that way we can able to take care of the forms of the next 2 blue coins that we need to grab. And then there's also the another one, which we probably will grab that if we manage to obtain the rocket nozzle afterwards. So hopefully we should be able to get these things done, and hopefully we should be able to actually just accomplish those tasks at hand. So anyway, so let's go ahead and obtain the next blue coin just beyond over to this spot. And that was pretty easy with the actual turbo nozzle. And as you can see, we got 180 of those blue coins right now. So relatively speaking, I think we've got about 60 of them left. Well, I would say 60, because either way, that in addition to able to actually, well, at the moment right now, 59 left, and hopefully the next few blue coins, or the final 2 blue coins I should say, we're going to be using the actual rocket for the majority of it. So, although the only questionable thing about this at the moment is that, since after all, that using a turbo nozzle can be pretty awkward with platforming and such, so what we're going to do is the fact that we'll try to switch back to the hover nozzle as soon as we can, and then we should be able to actually get back on track with, you know, just trying to able to get ourselves the final 2 blue coins. So then hopefully once that's been done, then we can able to actually wrap up this world for good. So even then though, it's nothing that's horrible or anything like that. It's just that I'm not a big fan of the blue coin locations in this world, because they are far too spaced out. Plus, it does have a lot of emphasis on backtracking most of the time, which, again, whenever we get into the forms of the 7th world, after we've done through the majority of Dolfino Plaza itself, then we should be able to actually just have ourselves a decent time when it comes to not only just trying to grab those blue coins, but also trying to able to, you know, just trying to able to actually go for 100 coin shine sprite and the blue coins itself within like no sweat. So, but yeah, that's how I can usually just try to consider this the actual main plans for this. So either way though, let's just go ahead and get ourselves the, of course, the rocket nozzle again. So hopefully we will be able to use that for the majority of the 2 final blue coins whenever we get that done and over with. So if I recall correctly, that one of the blue coins does need to require a rocket nozzle, if you will, so hopefully we'll be able to actually utilize with it. And we're going to have to make sure we don't accidentally manage to run into the forms of specifically trying to able to get inside the secret course, because if we do somehow accidentally go inside the secret course, oh son of a I'm getting paranoid whenever I get knockback occurrence every time when I bump into something like these walls. Or maybe because I keep on getting used to with trying to do a lot of speedrun tactics and stuff like that all over again. But hey, at least that's the only things I might able to actually consider this the actual main key element here. Alright, so let's go ahead and oh no, this is simply it's not possible to reach, isn't it? Nope, it's not gonna be possible to reach. Now let me try this one more time. Nope. Thankfully though, if we manage to go back a little bit and try to get onto the actual shell itself, which I think is probably best to go into the back part of the shell, because that way you can able to hang on to here and then make sure you don't slip up, and then hopefully we'll try to grab it from this particular jump distance from that launching department. And there we go, we pretty much guaranteed to get ourselves our next blue coin, and we've only got one more left, which I think, if I recall correctly, it's gonna be somewhere around, God knows where that will be. But then again, now that's the only negative thing that I can think of with this specifically for this world, because of, you know, the actual placements of the blue coins sometimes can get pretty much spaced out most of the time, which even then though, I understand because of the forms of exploration was key to victory, but it's just that it might be feels a little bit time consuming and tedious at times for the sake of this world. I think, if I recall correctly, the final blue coin is going to be on, well, assuming if the camera were able to work on me half the time, I think it's going to be on this bit? Correct me if I'm wrong, but we'll see what happens there. And truth be told, whenever we zoom back out, there it is, right here, the last blue coin in Nuki Bay. If I can try to grab it though, first of all. And let's go ahead and wrap this mission up, or wrap things up with this world, by simply obtaining the forms of what else? The final Shine Sprite in Nuki Bay. So as a result though, it will be 6 worlds has been entirely accomplished with 100%ing on. So, well, of course we need to figure out the actual the tightrope jumps every once in a while, so even then we could expect it able to do certain stuff like these. So, dang it! Hopefully we would be able to actually just to make things a little bit easier for ourselves, but let's just hope if we do not lose a life on that specific matter, because we work so hard to able to actually just to deal with multitasking, like, you know, the 100 coin Shine Sprite, and to top it off with these blue coins to top it off as well. Oh, no. No. Okay. I just missed it. Come on. I just want to get this done. Thank you. Whew. Took quite a while, but at least on the upside though, aside from the actual blue coins spaced out locations out of the way, we are done with Nuki Bay. And I think for the majority of the next thing we'd like to do is to mainly focusing on the Delfino Plaza itself next. So we're probably not going to do that much of this though, apart from the fact that we'll do that at some point on Friday, but, well, no, Wednesday potentially speaking, because as a result, we're able to actually do the actual usual uploading schedules for that time. So either way though, first of all, let's go ahead and take care of these, the remaining blue coins that we haven't collected ever since the very beginning of the game. So as a result, I figure it's about time to able to actually just do those kinds of stuff right now. So, and eventually at this point, about the fact that we only got about you know, few more things to take care of, especially noticeable how the fact that we're actually getting so close towards the end of this Let's Play so far. So, yeah, everything else will come together. So, anyways, let's go ahead and keep on spraying the X mark. And hopefully get ourselves our next blue coin. I think what we're gonna do is the fact that we'll try to reach up to likely 190 of these blue coins total so far. And then after we're done with that, then we'll continue the rest for the sake of the forms until Wednesday. And as far as Friday and Saturday goes, it'll be an entirely different story as a result of that stuff. So, but I digress. So anyways, let's go ahead and grab our next blue coin from specifically for this particular area on the exact same area as I've already done. And let's go ahead and save a game in case if it doesn't go Oh my god, it's now game crashed all over again. But luckily that's not the case, luckily. So either way, let's just go ahead and be very careful around here, because we don't want able to slip up or anything like that. So either way though, we'll try to leave things up to that. So, and thanks a lot for damage for those of you see me doing that. But anyways. So anyways, let's go ahead and use Yoshi again, because it's been such a long while since we actually used Yoshi since Serrano Beach. In fact, kind of thing about it though, Nuki Bay doesn't have Yoshi involved, so because Nuki Bay has a lot of emphasis on a lot of water, so I'm guessing that's what they're going for here. So we'll take care of these two blue coin birds, as you can see right there, because they're well. It's hard to explain about this sometimes, I have to admit though, to be honest with you guys, because I know for the fact that I didn't make it. Oh well, we'll try to find another fruit. I'm hoping we're able to come across into a coconut again, but either way, we'll find things out for ourselves whenever we get to it. So either way though, we'll try to able to, I did see there's a coconut icon, which, truth be told, yep, it is a coconut after all, so even then, I was right after all. So, yeah, hopefully by the time, for the sake of the forms of this Let's Play in general, I don't know if we can able to actually finish this and join at some point in, at the end of March, at some point or another, but then again, though, we'll have to wait and see what happens there, and Journey forms of likely for the majority of this, this Let's Play is concerned. So anyways, let's go ahead and, oh, it doesn't work half the time? Seriously? It already works that in Journey forms of Recco Harbor and stuff, but why not in here? Whatever. So anyways, let's go ahead and keep on spraying more of those Shadow Mario graffiti stuff. Speaking of Shadow Mario, actually, until whenever we get to the 7th world, we might able to come across into our final encounter against with, Shadow Mario, until when it gets to the point whenever we get onto that specific world. But then again, we're not going to do that just yet, though. But first off, let's go ahead and grab that. Did I just simply clip for that blue coin? How dare you, game? How dare you sometimes? But anyways, let's go ahead and grab that, and we reached for about 190 of those, well, blue coins. So we got about at least 50 of them left. Specifically, I will classify for saying 10 left in Dolfino Plaza, and 30 of them left for the 7th world, and the final 10 should be at, well, we'll explain more about it whenever we get onto the very end of the game. So should be interesting to say the least, however though, but either way though, let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet though, because either way though, it's just too much to think of. So anyways, let's go ahead and go from here without even like falling off the ledge. And there we go, 191 of those blue coins, and I think we got about 49 of them left. So we are getting close, folks. We are getting very, very close to this point right there, especially how that's how the actual the YouTube partnership just managed to go super nicely as a result. Sure, there might be some pretty much tedious missions as far as the actual things itself goes along, but either way though, we'll discuss more about it whenever we get onto that stuff. But before we grab onto the forms of the next giant sprite, however though, let's go ahead and save this Pianto while he's simply still on fire. And by simply, we have to keep on spraying it to its back. That way, we'll get rewarded, as in, well, of course, another blue coin. So, 48 more to go, folks. 48 blue coins to go. So, even then, we are, you know, we are getting close. We are surely getting close. But anyways, I figure we might as well do one more mission, at least from now on. And that is, of course, we can never forget the Turbo Nozzles obstacle course. Specifically, whenever we get onto the actual mission itself, because we've already done, let's just say, how do I put this? We've already done the Super Slide course, and we haven't done that much in terms of Dolfino Plaza's secret missions themselves, which even then, next up, as you can see right there, this mission is actually known as Turbo Track, which basically, as far as this mission suggests, or that Shine Sprite suggests, we need to get a lot of usage on the Turbo Nozzle this whole time, and to be able to do a pretty well timing jumps, which you have to time at the right jumps every time you get to the actual orange lines, as you can see. Think of like, you know, Mark Speed sections from Sonic 06, except, no! I just simply failed on that. I blame what's your name, I blame the camera for that. on my camera control, I should say. So, thankfully, we still got plentiful of extra lives at this point. So even then, I'm guessing that's probably is the biggest reason why I'm gonna be keep on grinding for more of those extra lives as much as I can before I don't get myself my game over for any time soon. But you know, it might not happen. Alright, come on. Hopefully for this last jump. And, yep, we did make it. Whew. Sure, it's a bit tricky, but I had a... This is probably just me, but I'm pretty sure I'm always gonna be able to attempt to cross into a lot of trial and errors in these little cloudy kind of sceneries. The only time exception is, of course, the red coins in a bottle mission, which is probably by far the easiest out of the all these sky-based missions or anything like that. It's probably just me anyway, though. That's probably just me. But anyway, though, I think simply to say that apart from the fact that we're able to actually decide to I think I should probably take a break at this point, guys. So anyways, I think we should probably end things off at this point right there. So join me next time on Let's Play Super Mario Sunshine, and that was the fact that rather than taking on new forms of World 7, that I'm probably not going to be doing that just yet, because instead, I'm going to be taking on the forms of the next few Shine Sprites in Dolphino Plaza itself. So yeah, I'll see you guys until likely on Wednesday. So see you guys then. Later, fellas.